Risa Loves Makeup is a beauty YouTuber in the over 40 space. And in this interview, she talks a lot about some of the pitfalls and low points of having a YouTube channel. Yes, there's a lot of amazing things about it, but when it comes to your own mental health, she discusses some of the struggles that she's had, as well as her advice for content creators, especially in the beauty space. Hello, my name is Erika Vieira. I'm a YouTube strategist and coach, having helped thousands of women through my Zero to Influence YouTube Bootcamp, my one-on-one YouTube coaching, and my strategic channel management. And on this channel, I interview well-known female content creators like Risa, where we together pull back the curtain to reveal what it's really like to be successful on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe because I come out with these interviews every single week. And let me know in your comments what your favorite takeaway was from Risa's interview. Mwah. Well, hello, Risa. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. Yours is a channel that I definitely enjoy watching. So I'm really excited to kind of chat about all things YouTube and beauty YouTube. So, you've been on the platform since 2016 in this competitive beauty space, and I'm sure you've seen your own share of highs and lows. What would you say are some of the downsides of being a content creator?
Downsides. I would have to say the internal struggle that, I know a lot of my fellow content creators have gone through. As far as like comparing yourself to others, obviously taking in the mean comments and feedback. And that's, I would say, the biggest downside is that it's a little mentally draining, especially, when you're trying to build a channel. You become very frustrated when, you don't get views, or when you get those mean comments, or you see somebody else doing better than you. So yeah, I would say that that's been the biggest struggle for me. Thankfully, I have a spouse that's very helpful. And so I'm able to get that time to film. And, when I started, my kids were a little bit younger. And so I did need help with them. And my husband just really, I think you need that especially if you're in a relationship, you need somebody that will support you. So, everything else was pretty smooth as far as, me learning how to film and all that. I did it all on my own, but I would just say the mental aspect of it is the biggest downside.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that aren't in the industry, they look at YouTube and be like, oh, I can do that. That's like so easy. Oh my God, stand in front of a camera, talk about makeup.
No, and I think the bigger you get, I've noticed when I've gone back and looked at some of my older videos, like my really old videos, I almost feel like I was not more natural, but the words came out more freely. I guess because I felt like I didn't have anybody really listening. So it didn't really matter what I said or how I said it. And now that I feel like I have so many more eyes on me, I find myself stumbling a little bit more and catching myself saying things. And when I'm editing, I'll say, oh, I need to cut that out because, somebody could take that the wrong way. And when you've got more eyes on you, there's upsides, and then another downside is that you're just definitely more harder on yourself.
Yeah. At what point did you feel like you started to get that kind of, maybe a little bit of that negativity?
It's the internet. I feel like I got it from the start.
Oh, wow.
People want to pick apart your appearance, regardless. You could be the most beautiful woman in the world and somebody's going to pick apart your appearance. So that was kind of like at the beginning, and not that I didn't expect it, but it was just kind of surprising. And that's, I didn't start getting the negative comments about like the content, like, people saying like how they would have done it differently. Maybe till I got, like a little bit of a bigger audience, maybe after, I think like once I hit like maybe 25,000 subscribers and I was consistently getting like a couple thousand views on my videos. It just, or I had one video that went semi-viral. Like at the time, I thought it was pretty viral. So I started getting a lot of subscribers. And then when a video goes viral, the downside of that is that you do get a lot more of not your regular audience. You're getting new people who don't know you, don't really feel like they need to be nice. They just, so I always say about viral videos, it's like it's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah, because especially it's like if you're so used to like your little community of people and they're like, oh yeah, we love you, or oh,
they're
great
so nice
video.
and supportive.
Yeah. And then you get exposed to like the real world and you're like, oh.
I know. You're like, okay, clearly you don't watch my videos on a regular basis, because I'll get people that say, can't watch you because you do too much high-end, use too many high-end products. And I'm like, you obviously don't watch my channel that often, because I try to do a balance.
It's like you do a lot of drugstore, yeah.
Yeah, I try to do at least 2 or maybe even 3 drugstore focused videos a month. So it's like people will judge you off of one video, and that's a little frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, so being in this space, the beauty space, I think especially lends itself to a little bit more of this criticism, because it's like the product is you and your face in a way, and talking about makeup and beauty. And how have you navigated that? Because not even like the negative comments, which it's kind of like goes with the territory, but also just putting yourself out there like that as a beauty YouTuber.
Going back to my relationship, I think that I have a lot of confidence. So my husband has always been so supportive of my kids as well. So when I get negativity, or just like you said, just putting myself out there, how do I continue to do it when I get negativity? Is number one, I have people in my real life telling me that I'm doing a great job, that, my kids will be like, Mom, those people, they're just haters because, I'm in my late 40s, and, I joke with the kids. I'm like, guys, did you know I had a facelift? Like, and they'll be like, yeah, Mom, when did you get that? Like, they don't want me to have anything done ever.
Yeah.
I wanted to get like a neck lift, and my husband like gave me like the eye, like, no, I don't think so.
Because like people are saying like, oh, you had a facelift.
Oh yes, and my mom laughs at that too. Like she's like please, she's like, I wouldn't, not that I would ever to have somebody tell me what I can or cannot do, but I know my mother would be like, absolutely not. When I had my lips done several years ago, and then I had them dissolved, she was like, Risa, those lips were horrible. She's like, please don't ever do that again. And I said, I'm not. But I just had
mine dissolved too, so I think that's like a trend.
Yes, and the funny thing is, mine didn't really go away altogether, and I didn't find that out till later, that sometimes it just doesn't fully dissolve as your collagen has been built up. But I see it as a good thing, because I don't have to put the money out to go get them done. But I also feel like I have to constantly tell myself to focus on the positive that I get, the positive feedback. I will genuinely cry reading some of the comments that I get. Like, I get tear up right now, like, because I consider myself a pretty sensitive person, and sometimes I'll get comments from people that will say, I'm struggling with cancer, or I'm going through chemo, and I'm going through a divorce, and your videos just take my mind off of things, and you've taught me so much. I've spent the last 20 years focusing on my children, and I haven't taken care of myself, and now I want to focus on myself and be more fashionable and be more put together. And if I really focus on those people, that's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
Because I have this audience that watches my videos, and it puts them in a better headspace, or they walk out the door wearing something they may not have worn before because society tells them they're too old for it. And I feel like, yes,
yeah.
All right, it takes people to speak out and be in the space, even though it's scary, to make changes. And we're definitely looking for some change in the beauty and fashion industry when it comes to how older women are seen. Because a lot of times we're not seen, and we want to be seen. And I want to be, one of the people that helps to kind of push that.
Yeah.
Change things.
Was that part of your kind of vision or mission when you got onto YouTube, or has that evolved over time?
It's evolved over time, because when I started, I didn't know the influence that I could have. But when I started, I was freelancing at the time because when I moved back to Las Vegas, I was living in Minnesota for a while. Moved back to Las Vegas and I was just freelancing.
Okay.
So I was doing weddings, and I was doing, it's Vegas. People come to Vegas, want to get their makeup done. So I was doing private clients, and I was working as a trainer for Stila and Bare Minerals. So I was going to Ulta and Sephora and all these places. And I wanted something that I had watched YouTube videos, and I was seeing what people were doing, and I really didn't see, with the exception of maybe one or two content creators that were over 40. And I definitely didn't see any that were makeup artists like I have been since 1996. So I felt like I really was looking to get out of the freelance space because my husband travels for work. And so he's gone a lot of times Monday through Thursday or something like that. And then I would be working on the weekends. So I wanted something that I could do. And I just thought, I've got all these years of experience. I have worked with so many brands. I've been obsessed with makeup since I was a little girl. I mean, I just knew that this was, if I could figure out how to film a video.
Yeah. All the tech stuff, right?
The tech stuff. If I could figure out the tech stuff, then I can start a channel. And so I started posting like just a couple videos a month. And then I kind of went all in on it, and it's paid off. And yeah, I wanted to quit. Like I'm sure everybody tells you that at some point they want to quit.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I work so hard on this. I'm putting out this content. Nobody's watching. Or I would put up a video and I would lose subscribers. And I remember laying in bed with my husband and I'm like, well, that's nice. I just put up a video and I lost 20 subscribers.
All that hard work.
Yeah. It's a tough hurdle to get over. It's almost like a rejection. So yeah, there's you have to be definitely in a good mental space, I think, to tackle this.
Yeah, and I think what you said about having a strong support system outside of YouTube, that's one thing I always say. It's like, it's a very dangerous thing to tie your self-worth to the success of any type of platform, right? And so, and that's why I think it's actually an issue more so for younger people. And I think, if you're a younger person, it's just like so important to make sure you've got your, a close family or friends or people that are really close to you, and things in your life outside of creating content that you feel good about, whether it's, going to school or having some kind of volunteer thing or something, because tying your self-worth to the ebbs and flows of where you're at with your channel it's the fastest way to burn out. It's the fastest way to just mentally like having a breakdown. And you see it. You see it on sometimes a lot of these younger people on YouTube, they'll come out and be like, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm making, I'm at 1 million something plus subscribers. I'm making tons of money, but I can't handle this.
Yeah. Yeah. And and I think the longer you do it, certain things get easier and then certain things get more difficult. For me, more difficult things have probably been coming up with fresh ideas for videos, because it seems like a lot of content is just being pushed out over and over and regurgitated, and I'm just like, I want to do something different, and then you don't know how it's going to be received. And then I too, like sometimes I will film a video and I'll say to myself, I don't care how many views it gets. I think this is a cool idea. I think this is going to be a helpful video to people. If it doesn't get, my typical 1,000 views in an hour, that's fine. If it ranks 8, 9, 10, that's fine.
The ranking.
But then when that happens, then I see it and I'm like, why is that ranked 1 out of 10? Like, this is a freaking good video. And, so that's a struggle too, because I try not to tie any of my worth to that, but it is having to constantly remind yourself of that, and having other people, like you said, outside of YouTube telling you, like, listen, regardless of what happens with your channel, like, you're a great mom, or you're a great sister, you're a great friend, you're a great, you've got other things going on. And I just definitely... Yeah.
It's important, and that's why, like you said, having that support system is huge. And I think as we get older, it's that's a little bit more established, But it's It's huge. So for you, when you started on your channel, back in 2016, at what point did things really start to take off for you, where you had that aha moment, like, okay, this can be my career?
Well, I think it was that first viral video I had, which was a hooded eye video. I was shocked because it had been up for like 3 months before the algorithm sort of picked it up. And I would say it was probably maybe 2 years, because like the first year I wasn't posting that consistently, and the second year I was. And it just kind of took me by surprise. Every time I would look at my subscriber count, it would go up by hundreds. And so I thought, oh, all right. It kind of helped me pivot into the direction of teaching. When I saw that a video about teaching people how to deal with something very specific was going to do well for me. And since then, all of those videos have done well for me. Every hooded eye video I've done. And then I also, at the very beginning, I did try to do what everybody else was doing, the young people. I would pose and I would do all those things, circa 2015, 2016, that you'd see their poses at the beginning, their poses at the end. And I tried to do that.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't feel right. And it also just wasn't resonating. So when I really went niche down to the mature skin and dealing with these struggles that people have in different parts of their doing makeup, that's when it took off. And that's when I felt like, all right, I'm going all in on this. Thankfully I could, just freelance when I wanted to and really put my time into it. And then I started getting, some sponsorship offers. And that was, I can't pinpoint exactly, but I want to say it was probably about 2 years into it when I went full time and felt like, and, I didn't make a ton of money the first year. People think that, like, oh, you're going to get on YouTube, you're going to make all this money. And no, I would say the first 2 years, I really didn't make anything. It was all just like investing in, gear and stuff. And then the next year, I think I made like $25,000, like something like that, like just on revenue and, the small affiliate money I was making. I maybe had like 1 or 2 sponsorships.
Yeah.
But then I think with what this, maybe this better than I would if you can verify this or not, but I feel like getting to the first like 50,000 is much harder than getting to the next 50,000, and getting to 100,000. Getting to 200,000 takes a lot less time than the time it took to get to 100,000. And then I feel like YouTube kind of pushes your videos out more, and they know that like you're going to get a certain amount of views. So I think that once the ball started rolling, I just was rolling with it.
Yeah, I always say that with YouTube, it's really about the momentum. And it's like when you have that momentum, and it could be for some people, it's kind of like they've been at it for a while, and then like, they're at a point where they have like 20,000 subs or even 5,000, or could be even like 50,000, and all of a sudden like it starts going. That's when it's like, okay, the YouTube gods have kissed you. Now you got to get to work. You think, okay, now I get, hands off. No, now is a time to double down, triple down, put on it, like look at what you're doing, study your analytics, and like ride that wave. Because for a lot of people, you see it and then it rides, and then that'll take them all the way up to like 200K sometimes, or 250, and then it'll kind of stall. Some people, it takes them up to 100, and then they kind of stall. Like, so, it's kind of riding that wave, because that momentum only comes around every so often, and that's always a momentum that pushes people up. Yeah. And that's why I always say, like, it's like so many people focus on so many of these little things. I was like, it just kind of really boils down to creating like really good content, being super strategic with the topics that you're doing, the audience that you're focusing on, making killer thumbnails and titles. Like, and it sounds like, oh, I'm saying it's easy. No, that's like a lot of work. But it's but it's like kind of focusing on those things versus like, the SEO and this and that. It's like, no. Focus on the content itself, because the better you do at that, the more likely that wave is going to start. And then you start like, okay, now let's get really, really strategic, so.
Right. And people definitely need to understand that it does ebb and flow. You'll have that momentum for a while. And then like I sort of feel Like I'm kind of, while my views are good, as far as like subscriber growth, I'm kind of
Plateauing out.
It's definitely slowed down. And I think part of that could be because the influencer space is being a little bit diluted with TikTok, because everyone's an influencer on TikTok. I mean, I got to 80,000 on TikTok in a year by posting like a couple videos a month.
Yeah. Wow.
And so now people are watching a lot of that short form content and maybe not as apt to subscribe to a YouTube channel. I don't know. I'm speculating, but but it's something that I'm sticking it out. I'm definitely sticking it out. Like people say, well, please don't, go over to TikTok full time and leave your YouTube channel. I'm like, I'm never doing that.
Yeah.
YouTube is my home. YouTube is my audience. I can have some fun over on TikTok, but you guys are who I'm focused on.
And here's some other thoughts on that too. It's that, because I talk to a lot of people, and yeah, TikTok is great. It's you can grow faster. You can grow pretty fast on TikTok. However, it's like to pinpoint like the best and right audience. It's kind of like, especially for you, a niche that's like women, over 40 or whatever it is. It's like YouTube is still where it's at when it comes to being able to really like target an audience, but at the same time, it's also where it's at to like really that know, like, and trust factor too. Like TikTok is great, and people are there, but like when you get people that are like raving fans and that they love you and will like click on every single video and watch it all, I still think YouTube in long form in that sense is like you can't beat that.
I agree,
that community,
100%, especially for what I want to do, which is actually teach people. 3 minutes, 1 minute or 3 minutes isn't really enough for me to really teach somebody something useful or to give a thorough review. And like I said, I'm never going to just abandon YouTube. It's always going to be where I spend the bulk of my time. If I have a few minutes during a day, or I'll film a quick TikTok, but no, my focus is always going to be on YouTube, because I definitely feel like I have those people that do watch every video and do want to hear my opinion on a product before they go and buy it. And that means a lot, That's, I'm proud of that.
So what would you say would be your piece of advice for somebody that is maybe on the struggle bus in like the beauty YouTube community with like growing their channel or kind of feeling like they're stalled?
I would say to reach out to other creators. I have had creators, not many, I would think I would have more, but I've had a couple reach out to me and ask me for some advice, and they're like apologizing, like, I'm so sorry to bother you, you don't have to. And I am 100% willing to help people and give advice, because I've got nothing, I'm not in competition with anybody. There's room for everybody. But what bothers me is when I give these people advice and they just don't take it. Like, I'll tell them, try something else. I'll say, I do these videos, several times a month, and maybe it's just like a Sephora haul or something like that. And they're not doing anything else because they're afraid, because they feel like, well, that's what their people come to see. Well, you don't know. Maybe you could get some new people if you just have to like throw it on the wall and see if it sticks. If you have one bad video, big deal. You tried. And that's what I tell people. It's like, you've got to try different things, especially at the beginning, or if you're in a rut, you've got nothing to lose. So my advice is to reach out to other creators. I'm sure there'll be some that will reject you, but that's their problem, but a lot of creators, maybe they don't have time like that day to send you like a page-long email, but just give you like little tips, like, hey, what do you think of if somebody said to me like, hey, what do you think of my thumbnails? I mean, mine certainly aren't perfect, but I would say, because I'm sure you do see the same thing. You see people's thumbnails and you're like, oh gosh, that's a great topic, but if that thumbnail were better, people would be clicking on that, and they don't understand the impact that those thumbnails have. And you'll tell people, hey, you should maybe try a different thumbnail, and they just don't listen.
Yeah, I mean, tell me about it. I run a YouTube boot camp and do coaching, and it's
Exactly.
you know, yeah. I mean,
a word I said.
the good thing though is that usually when people are willing to shell over money for it, like they're ready, you know. So, but I mean, you still get the people that kind of fight for what they want, and it's like, right, keep doing that, you know. And I always say like the phrase like from one of my mentors, James Wedmore, like what got you here won't get you there. So it's like you're here for a reason, asking me questions, whether it's you or in the boot camp or coaching. There's a reason you're asking me questions. It's because you're not where you want to be right now. So maybe
you have to be open to other ideas and to change. I mean, obviously you don't want to change fundamentally who you are or what you're about, but little things here and there, you know, like just try it.
Yeah, try it.
It's YouTube. It's a video. It's not, you know, performing a new brain surgery technique. You know?
I agree. I'm all about experimenting. I mean, that's so much of what we do. What I do when I'm working with clients, it's like I have like I'm an idea generator. That's all I do is I generate ideas. I love I come up with so many ideas. I'm like, okay, like I have one channel recently, and she was just doing makeup, and then we kind of ventured off into a few other topics she was interested, and boom, her channel, because she'd been stagnant in beauty, whatever, and boom, all of a sudden now, like her channel's taking off, and she's like, if I hadn't if I hadn't tried those kind of videos, you know, if she'd still be maybe struggling.
Bailey Sarian is a really good example because I used to watch her years ago, and she always did beautiful makeup.
Yeah, she's a great makeup artist.
But a lot of her looks are very dramatic, and I think there's a certain segment of the audience that just they're not into the dramatic. They just want everyday tips and tricks and all that. So I would look at her videos and I would think, God, why isn't she getting more views? It's insane. She's so talented. And then she started doing that murder mystery and makeup.
And now she's huge.
Holy moly. Yes, she is huge. But she probably thought to herself, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, to have her first, you know, murder mystery makeup. But she obviously loves that genre. And she's like, I'm going to incorporate this into my tutorials. And then she blew up.
And look how many people have copied her too now after that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. She was just willing to try something different, and it really paid off. And yeah, I mean, I want to say I could do something like that, but maybe I'm not. I mean, I always try to think about what I could be doing differently too, what I could try differently. But again, if you try something and it doesn't work, you're a little bit more skeptical. Like I've tried doing the like will I buy it videos, because a lot of beauty content creators do like will I buy it, and they just go through the
the catalog,
am I going to buy it, am I not? And my audience doesn't really, I mean, some do, but my audience didn't seem to like really resonate with that. So I stopped doing it. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll try it again, just see. You just never know, and I'll probably try it again.
Yeah,
because like, why not? You know, there is a segment of the audience that's probably going to want to see it, and it's just never get set in your ways, I guess.
Yeah, because also the audience changes, trends change. Like that is the thing about YouTube, is you kind of have your finger on the pulse. Like, you know, even like just outside of YouTube beauty, right? It's like having your finger on the pulse of like just the beauty trends in general, or what's happening on TikTok, or what's happening just like in the magazines, or what celebrities are doing, right? And that'll give you inspiration for ideas. And I mean,
my most viral video is one that as a tip that I shared that I had seen on TikTok that I had not seen before. And I thought, I'm going to share this quick tip because I know a lot of my audience is not on TikTok. And I also thought this creator was really great and talented. So obviously I was going to give her credit for it. And it just went crazy. I mean, I knew the first day it was going to go viral because it had like 20,000 views in just a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I do scroll through TikTok and I see if there's anything else like that that, you know, I haven't seen before, or that I think my audience
might be interested in,
respond to. And it doesn't always have to be some really blown, like just tons of product video or tutorial. It can be just one little tip or one product. Like, oh my God, this blush is the best blush I've ever used in my life. And make it more of a short form, 5-6 minute something, and they do really well.
And it has to be it has to do with the way that it's kind of structured as well, or like it's presented, right? It's kind of like, if you do like,
about it.
Well, not even that, but it's like, it's not like, oh, like XYZ brand blush, it's got to be like review, right? So you got to have like an angle to it, right? And
tell people why they keep them engaged with what you're saying,
and focus on what their needs, their deep desires, their wants, their struggles are, and create that one product review kind of around that. Does it get rid of the wrinkles? Does it help with the hooded lids or whatever? So I love that tip. All right, so now we're nearing the end of the interview, and this is where I ask the same questions I ask everyone that's come on the show.
Okay,
you ready for that?
Okay, I think so.
All right. So you've kind of touched on it a little tiny bit, but maybe there's something else. But what would you say is your number one struggle with YouTube?
Right now, where I'm currently at, my number one struggle with YouTube is, I guess it's 70-30. 30% coming up with fresh ideas. 70% delegating so I can put out more content. If my husband, kids, friends, all my YouTuber friends are like, Risa, you need an editor. You need a virtual assistant. You need somebody to do, like, I don't know why. I guess I'm just such a control freak, and I have to let that go, because I could be putting out more content if I delegated. So right now, that's, I would say my biggest, what's going in around my head most days when I'm filming content. I'm like, oh, I could be doing so much more. I just spent 5 hours editing this video. I could have sent it off to somebody, and then filmed something else in that 5 hours. So I would say that's my struggle.
Yeah.
Delegating.
Yes.
And fresh content, fresh ideas.
What is your highest viewed video on your channel, and how much AdSense did you make from it?
I put it up about 2 years ago, and it was that concealer tip that I had found on TikTok, and I think it has like 1.7 million.
Okay.
And I think when I looked, it said like close to 16,000.
Nice.
On that one video.
Awesome.
And it still gets views, so.
You're still making money from it.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's short too, so it's not like there's a lot of ads.
Ah.
I think it's like a 7 or 9 minute video.
Yeah. So. If you were to start over with your YouTube channel right now, what would you do differently?
I don't know. What would I do differently? I know this isn't a great answer, but I don't think I would do much differently, because I feel like I did everything in a very authentic and organic way. I didn't force anything. I didn't go into it saying, I'm going to put up 5 videos a week. I'm going to get 100,000 subscribers in a year. I'm going to do this XYZ. I'm going to have the best edited videos. I'm going to have the best sound. I'm going to have the best lighting. I just went into it like, I'm just a mom who wants to help people do their makeup. And if I started over today, it would be the same thing. I'd get a camera. I would just buy some lights on Amazon. I would turn on the camera and just share, like, oh, hey, this is such a great product.
Yeah.
For a week, it did this. So yeah, I can't say that there's much that I would do differently, but I would just go into it, and this is how I did go into it, was just letting the chips fall where they were going to. Like, if it was going to take off, it was going to take off. If it didn't, it didn't. But I'm having fun making videos, and I'm getting positive feedback. So yeah, I think you just have to do everything organic to you, and not go into it being like, I'm going to be an influencer, that's. Yeah,
I have to grow this many every month.
Yeah, check the ego and just do it for the right reasons.
Definitely. What is your favorite video that you've uploaded onto your channel?
Oh gosh, my favorite video that I've uploaded. It's a video that I did with another YouTuber. That really didn't get that many views, but it was okay. We had such a blast filming it. My friend was coming. She has Kate the Great Beauty. Familiar with her? She's got a YouTube channel as well. But she was here in Vegas because her family lives in Vegas, and we thought we were going to just do something really fun and just dress in like real kitschy Vegas, like over the top sequins.
Yeah.
And
showgirl
martinis, and we're just gonna chat. We're gonna talk about makeup, and we're gonna chat, and it was just so much fun, and we laughed, and it was is just a really fun video to do. I do collaborations with other YouTubers, especially, when we could like be side by side. I've done a couple with Michelle Wong. Obviously, COVID put a little hit on that.
Yeah.
And do things right next to each other. But, I like filming with other creators. I like supporting other creators. I like, doing like collabs where, Stephanie Marie and I do a lot of, we haven't done one recently, but every few months we like to do one where like she'll choose her favorite eyeshadow palettes and I'll choose mine, and I'll tell people about her channel and she'll tell people about my channel. And I like to do those a lot.
Yeah, it's fun. It's that community, What is your number one tip for preserving your mental health as a YouTube creator?
Tell yourself, like I alluded to earlier, it's not brain surgery. It's making videos, and you're never going to be liked by everyone. Never. That's that saying, it's like you could be the ripest peach, but not everybody likes peaches. Just tell yourself that whatever negativity comes to you is more about that person than you, 99.9% of the time. So so I guess my number one tip is to just constantly check in with yourself and take yourself like down to earth and realize like what's truly important. And I think that mentality does come from me being older. And I think your younger influencers that watch you and will maybe watch this, I think they might struggle with that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because it did take me maturing and going through so many ups and downs in my life to realize what's really important. Like if I said that to my 20-year-old son, he'd roll his eyes at me, and but I do think with age comes a little bit and really having that ability to say, listen, it's just YouTube, and I like what I'm doing. I think I'm putting out good work. I think I'm putting out good content. Not everybody's gonna like me, but the people that do, I got to focus on them. Yeah,
that's good advice. Have you ever wanted to just give up? What happened there, and how did you get back on track?
Oh yeah, I definitely wanted to give up. I would say probably at that 2 years in point before I had the video go viral, where I was losing subscribers, I was putting effort into it. And honestly, it was my son who was, so let's see, he is like 12 years old at the time. And he said to me, he's like, Mom, you can't give up. I said, I'm done. I said, if I don't get to like X amount of subscribers by this date, I'm done. I'm pulling the plug. And my son was like, Mom, you cannot give up. It's like, you got to push through. You got to do it. And as a mom, I thought, okay, now I have to.
Yeah, because you can't like
let my kid see me give up.
Yeah.
I have to keep pushing through. And so I still tell him to this day, I tell him, like, Matthew, you're the reason why I'm still doing this. Because if you had not said that to me, I probably would have just given up.
Oh, sounds like you have a great son.
If you have motivation to keep going, and it could be one comment from somebody, not even your own family, but somebody could comment on one of your videos and it'll just hit you and you'll be like, okay, I'm going to keep going. Because even if it's a small segment of people that are enjoying me, those people are really loyal and they're going to...
And they count on you. They like you. Yeah.
They count on you. Yeah. I mean, if somebody's trying to like do it as like their full-time job and that, I can see how that would be, extremely frustrating. And I was not in that position. My husband, I was kind of doing it for kind of side income, but I know there's a lot of people that are doing it as their main income and they're sustaining their families and or themselves, on it. And so I can see how that could, stress somebody out big time.
Yeah. Any video you created that you were really excited about, but just kind of flopped on your channel?
Oh. Going back to the collaboration, Stephanie Marie and I joke about this all the time because it was the worst performing video for both of us.
Oh, really?
We thought it was going to do so well. It was correcting makeup mistakes.
Oh, okay. Usually mistakes videos do well.
I was taking 7 makeup mistakes and she was taking 7. And that video flopped so bad.
Wow.
I think it had and this was maybe like 2 years ago. So our channels weren't as big as they are now, but we were still getting at least 10,000 views per video. And I think after like several months, it had hit like 7,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so we always joke. We're like, okay, is this a good idea for a collab? Because like I said, we try to do them every few months. We say, was this a good idea for a collab? And we both say, well, nothing could be worse.
And a mistakes video.
The mistakes video.
Yeah.
And when people comment on our videos like, hey, could you do a video on how to fix mistakes?
You're like, here you go.
No, we can't.
You're like, check this one out from 2 years ago, okay?
Nope.
That's funny. What has been the biggest opportunity you got as a result of being a content creator?
Biggest opportunity I've gotten. Well, I still haven't been invited on any brand trips.
Well, they kind of slowed down there for a while, but they're happening again, it seems like.
I'm not even on like a ton of PR lists. Like for a time, I thought I was like on a blacklist or something. Like nobody's sending me PR. But that's okay. But opportunities, I would say, the whole platform is an opportunity.
Yeah,
when
I
you get
agree.
to a certain level. I mean, I do have plans in the future to put my name on something. I may have something in the works that I'm not allowed to talk about yet.
Oh, cool. Congrats.
Thanks. But yeah, I think one opportunity was around, this is going back to the whole just audience that really likes you and cares about you and supports you. I did a meetup a couple of years ago, I think when I had like 50,000 subscribers, and there were people that drove from Arizona, California.
Oh, wow.
To see me? Like, me? Really? That thing called imposter syndrome?
Yeah.
I totally had that. I was like, why? Why do you want to see, But it was a great opportunity to, just meet people and actually speak to them one-on-one and hear those things.
Yeah.
Because that keeps you going too.
That's so cool.
Especially when it's person to person.
Yeah, that's huge. That's awesome.
But hopefully more opportunities will come too.
I'm sure they will. I think YouTube is an amazing platform for opportunities.
Yeah.
So, what would you say? You had that wonderful story about your son, but what would you say has kept you going over the last, how long you been since 2016? 16, 8, 9, 20?
6 or 7 years.
Yeah, as a creator.
It's fun. It's just fun because I still have such a passion for makeup and fashion. If I didn't, if I looked at makeup and it bored me, if I walked into Sephora and I was like, meh, then I would have to stop doing it. But I still walk in like, like, oh my God.
Get in a candy store.
New lipsticks, new blushes. Like, and even at the drugstore, I don't care what the price is. I will walk into Walgreens and I'll see a new display of CoverGirl and I'm like, ooh, what's this? What's this? So I think that you have to have the passion for it.
Yeah.
And if that dies, then you're in trouble. So
it happens for some people, and then they have to pivot and change gears. I've seen it.
And some people just have to even just take a break
and
do something else.
Yeah.
And then come back to it. Because that's another beautiful thing about YouTube is you can stop for a little while. And then your viewers will come back or you'll get new viewers but they can tell. I definitely think they can tell if you're not passionate about it. Like if you just stood there and said, yeah, this is the new collection from Charlotte Tilbury, isn't it great, blah blah blah, they know that and they're gonna not respond to it. And but if you're like,
obsessed,
I've never seen in my life,
I know,
they respond to it.
I always say too, it's very difficult, and granted, like YouTube it's not like a competition amongst people, but and the reality is like everyone's kind of competing for people's time, right, to watch the videos. And it's like, how can you expect to compete against somebody that's truly passionate? Like they don't have to work towards it. They'll 2 hours in Sephora just going through everything. Like that's going to be a very difficult person to compete against when it comes to, talking about makeup in front of a camera. Because that, no matter what, that person's not trying to be enthusiastic. And that's why it's so important, like when you're on YouTube, to just lean into what you love. Even if it's not a trending thing on YouTube. Everyone, for some reason, thinks they need to do makeup when they get onto YouTube. Do you know how many people I have coached and who's gone to my boot camp that have come in doing makeup and then have come out doing something completely different, and they're super glad about it and they've seen way more success?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're not passionate about it, then I'm going through this with my older son right now, and going back to school, going back to college. Um, because obviously when COVID hit and he was doing classes online, it was a
Yeah, that's
struggle,
not fun.
and he just wasn't into it. Like he's just like, I don't know if I want to go back to school. And I said, and he loves sports. He's so passionate about sports. And so I tell him, I said, if you truly do not want to go back to school, I need you to do something in the field that you're passionate about. Because if what I do has taught me anything, it's that if you are truly passionate about something, you can make money from it. And that's what you want your life to be. You don't want to be sitting in a cubicle and just pushing pens and paper. You want to do something that you're passionate about it, and that will bring you joy and money, and the
success
money
will come.
Success, exactly.
And I think that's why YouTube is so appealing for so many people too, because they look at it and they're like, wow, like I would love to do that, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, I feel blessed every day that this is what I get to do. Like me too. You know, like I love it. I love YouTube, you know. Yeah, I get to work with people and coach them on it and give them ideas. Like I pinch myself every day that I get to do this, but I love it.
I'm like, I can go buy makeup and just talk about it to people. And they'll want to know. Like I'll test, like I do hot new makeup every month, and I go and I buy a lot of the new makeup, and I just sit down and I record myself trying it for the first time. And so they see firsthand my genuine
joy. Yeah.
You know, and it's, I like to see other people do that too.
Yeah. That's why those videos do so well, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're looking at it, be like, okay, yeah, this is cool. I'm like, yeah, this is nice. I'll try this. You're like, I don't want to watch that, right? Nobody does. What is your superpower that you think has led to your success on YouTube?
I don't know if I call it superpower, but I consider myself to be very down to earth. And I think I'm relatable. And actually, I just had some friends over the other day who aren't on social media, but they read comments out. They follow me, and so they read comments from people and stuff. And they're like, sometimes I read these comments and I get mad. Like people don't know, people who like say negative things are like, they don't know you.
Yeah.
Like they don't know how genuine you are and how down to earth you are. And they were like mad about it. And I said, no, but there's I wouldn't be where I'm at if the majority of people didn't find me relatable and didn't find, down to earth. But I definitely always try to take everyone into consideration. I don't try to appeal to just like one audience. Like even though I'm a mature skin channel technically, I still feel like the tips and tricks that I give out are universal. You know, young, old, man, woman, whatever. I try to appeal to everyone, which is why I do also high-end and drugstore, and I do dupes videos, and I do just different things, because I think that it's important for people to for you to speak to them, you know, for them to turn it on and be like, oh, this girl's not for me. It's all luxury. I can't afford any of that. Although some people still do that, because I guess, as we said at the beginning, they don't see your whole channel. They just see one video.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
Yeah. Last question. What is your number one piece of advice you would tell someone who's just starting out creating content?
Just make sure you are mentally prepared for the struggles, the hardships, the days that your computer's going to crash and you're going to want to throw it across the room, the days that the negative comments keep rolling in, the times that, I don't think that people should focus on the negative. They should be prepared for the negative. And like you said at the beginning, a lot of people go into it thinking, oh, it's YouTube. It's so easy. I'm just going to turn on my camera. No, that's the mindset that has to go out the window. You have to work. Somebody told me at the very, very beginning, if you treat it like a hobby, you're going to get paid like a hobby. If you treat it like a job, you'll get paid like it's a job. And that mantra has kind of stuck with me. So on the days that I don't want to get up and film and edit and, get all my makeup together and swatch and do B-roll, it's a job. I have to get up and do it. You have to be, when you're working for yourself and you're working at home, you have to be able to budget your time and focus and treat it like a job.
Yeah, I love that. Well, Risa, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you and getting to know you better through this interview. I've been watching your channel for years, so I'm just so glad to have you on the show. For anybody that's not familiar with you and your content, where can they find you?
Well, I am on, obviously, YouTube. I post 2 videos per week. It's Risa Does Makeup. Very simple. And then I also post content on Instagram. And then I also have been posting some more fashion-y. I do more, I would say more fashion-y kind of stuff on TikTok and Instagram. But yeah, everything's just Risa Does Makeup. And I would, let me know if you come here. Subscribe from this, this interview.
Awesome. Risa, thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed that interview and you learned a lot from it. Now, if you have a YouTube channel or considering starting a YouTube channel that you're serious about growing and you want the best of the best when it comes to personalized feedback, advice, and up-to-the-minute YouTube strategy, then consider my Zero to Influence YouTube Bootcamp for Women. I have been running this bootcamp since 2018, and we have hundreds upon hundreds of very successful students that have gone through the program. And I can go on and on about the YouTube Bootcamp, but I want you to hear it directly from some of the women themselves.
I feel so lucky that I got to do Erika's bootcamp.
Before I joined the bootcamp,
Before joining Erika's bootcamp,
my channel was all over the place. I didn't know what I was talking about. I would hear people say that I need to find my why and my voice and my audience and understand my target audience, but I never felt like I really understood what that meant.
Erika helped me come up with YouTube video ideas. She helps me with consistency. She helps me to interpret my analytics.
I started with 12,000 subscribers and now I have over 50,000 and it is growing rapidly.
My channel has grown almost 100,000 subscribers.
I definitely wouldn't have gotten to this place in such a short amount of time without Erika's bootcamp.
What makes Erika special is that she has been talking to and analyzing YouTube channels for years, and that has given her this bank of knowledge to pull from.
I'm constantly asking her questions about YouTube. I'm asking her advice about my YouTube channel.
Taking the Zero to Influence YouTube Bootcamp was one of the best
decision I could have ever made for myself, for my channel, for my own personal growth as a human being. I could not be happier.
I love that it has reinvigorated me in such a beautiful way. So I am so happy that I've joined.
You're crazy not to hire her. Get on it. All right.